This is only our second show.
Galvanize is known for providing the most cutting-edge tech education and the most collaborative workspaces in the industry. On this episode of Out of Office, brought to you by Galvanize TV, we sit down with Jack Bonneau, founder of Jack Stands. And now your host, Katie Oblock.
Hi, welcome to Galvanize's Out of Office, where we hear about entrepreneurs and their journeys. We're so excited to have you here today, Jack.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So as we start, I want to talk about Jack Stands and Marketplaces and what that is and what your business is.
Sure, so Jack Stands and Marketplaces provides an opportunity for kids to share their inspirational stories and sell their great products at local malls. And kids can also sign up to operate my stands and marketplaces. They'll learn about entrepreneurship, business, financial literacy, develop social and life skills, earn some money, and have some fun.
I love that. How did you start Jack Stands?
Sure, so it all started when I was 8 years old, and I wanted the Lego Star Wars Death Star, and it cost $400, so I asked my dad if I could get it. He said I could, but I would have to pay for it with my own money. So he suggested I started my own lemonade stand.
Yeah.
And since he's an entrepreneur, he suggested I treated it like a real business.
Yeah.
So I did, and I got all the proper permits and licenses. After my first year, I made $2,000 in revenue, and after expenses, made $900 in profit. And yes, I got my Lego Death Star.
Did you build it right away when you got home?
Yeah, but it was a lot of pieces. It took 3 friends about a month.
So you're 12 now.
Yes.
And you're the CEO of Jack Stands and Marketplaces.
Yes.
Do you feel like you've always had that entrepreneurial spirit?
You know, not really. When I was 8 years old, it was just about solving a problem, and that was my problem of wanting the Lego Star Wars Death Star. But when I was 8 years old, I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, much less how to spell it. It was I really just after I started my business, I just had such a great experience, and I wanted to share it with other kids.
What's been the most exciting part about your journey within your stands and marketplaces now?
I'm gonna have to say when I got on Shark Tank, that was just an amazing experience.
We'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
But to go through that sounds like a pretty fun time.
Oh yeah, it was.
And when you started your company, what was the most interesting part?
Well, the most interesting, the part that I liked the most was when I could see the kids. I'd teach them how to greet and serve the customer, how to make change, take credit cards, and how to track their sale. And then at the end of the day, we'd go through a mini P&L to figure out the revenue, expenses, profit, and tips. And I just really loved how a kid, they would come in, they're shy, not that confident, and then they would leave with the knowing of what a P&L is and being able to conduct conversations. It's always a great experience to see the kids grow.
I don't think I knew what a P&L was when I was 12. I think I didn't even learn what a P&L was until I was in my mid-20s. So I applaud your entrepreneurial spirit and your ability to learn and teach other kids.
Thank you.
So you started at farmers markets.
Yes.
How many locations do you have now?
Well, I have 3 locations at different malls. And so, yeah, we went from local farmers markets. And it's all really been organic. There really hasn't been no grand plan. It started at farmers markets with my lemonade stand, and then I was getting a lot of customers there that I reached out to other young entrepreneurs to sell their great products.
Yeah.
And that started Jack's Marketplaces. From there, we reached out to the local malls. So this holiday season, I'll have 3 locations at Flatirons, Park Meadows, and my first permanent location at Cherry Creek.
And how many kids work with you in your stands?
Well, I've had over 200 kids operate thousands of shifts.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the experience has gone pretty well, growing from farmers markets to all of your stands that you'll have this Christmas. What was that growth phase like for you? A lot of learning, I would assume?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I really, my dad, he's an entrepreneur, so he really helped me through all of that. But yeah, it really has just been an organic learning experience.
Yeah, what has it been like working with your dad, taking from his experience? What has he taught you?
Yeah, I mean, some kids, their dads coach their sports, but me and my dad, we've been able to just go through this experience together. I've learned so much from him just about entrepreneurship and just been able to spend a lot of time with him.
And you're going to school now.
Yes.
What school do you go to?
I go to STEM Lab in Adams 12th District in North Glen. I'm an 8th grader.
And what's it like owning a business, going to school, and being a part of that whole experience?
Yeah, it's great. But so there's generally 2 seasons with my business, the summer and the holiday season. During the summer, I don't have any school, so that's fine. But during the holiday season, I take off from Thanksgiving break to Christmas break. And my school, they're very supportive of what I do. I keep up on email, Google Classroom, and Khan Academy, and they're very supportive.
And do you have troubles keeping up with homework? Is that something that's easy because it's things like math are naturally built into your business?
I really didn't have any trouble. My teachers, we always keep in contact, and they work with me just to make sure I'm all caught up.
That's really cool that your teachers are willing to share that experience
Yeah.
with you. And you go around and speak at other schools as well to be an inspiration.
Exactly, yeah. I've spoken to many schools in Colorado, and my teachers think that what I'm doing as an entrepreneur is teaches me as much, if not more, of actual school. So.
Do you feel like the kids that you're teaching in your marketplaces and stands take those experiences back to their schools as well?
I think so. They really seem to grasp it, and all of the life lessons and the life skills and social skills that they develop, it'll help them their whole life.
What are some of the things that, other than a P&L and how to set up a stand or break down a stand and kind of that labor that goes with running your business, what are some of the other things that you've learned from your time in your stands and marketplaces?
Well, some of the things that I've learned, when I started out, I was really shy. I didn't have any confidence at all. I didn't know how to conduct a conversation. So I really gained that confidence through my stands and reaching out to people when I was working my stands. So I'd say mainly I built up confidence through my business.
That's really, really, really neat. And going into, or being in middle school sometimes, having confidence is really key.
Exactly, yeah.
How do your friends feel about you being with your stands?
Yeah, so most of my friends, they think what I'm doing is pretty cool. Some of them, they don't like it as much just because I don't get to spend as much time with them, but they're all pretty supportive.
That's awesome. And you've had a lot of really great growing experiences in publicity, and we'll talk about Shark Tank after the break, but what are some of the other things that you've experienced with this Jack Stands? You've been on the Today Show.
Yeah, I've been on the Today Show. I got my story in the New York Times. One of the great learning experience that I had was I was developing my own brand of lemonade, and Good Times had it at their locations, all of their locations, and it was a great learning experience. Yeah. Just how I created the lemonade, how I ordered the ingredients, the caps, sugar, lemon juice concentrate, and then just how I actually created it, seeing how it goes on a conveyor belt. It was all a great learning experience.
Yeah. What other products do you carry in your marketplaces besides just your lemonade?
Sure. So I carry from the Sweet Bee Sisters, lip balms, lotion bars, and sugar scrubs, to healthy dog treats, to wood cooking tools, a bunch of different stuff.
Cool. Things that people can use in their everyday life, it sounds like.
Exactly, yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you've had and you've faced with your marketplace?
Well, some of the challenges, we had trouble finding a lot of kids to operate the stands and scheduling, but from then, it's really been all good.
Good, I love that. And what kind of successes or achievements have you made with your marketplaces and Jack stands?
Yeah, one of the, I'm really happy that I have my marketplaces and stands in the malls, and I've been able to get on the Today Show, New York Times, and Shark Tank, so those are probably the biggest accomplishments. But I'd have to say success for me is just any time when I see a kid leaving the stands with more knowledge and more confidence than they did when they came in.
I love that. Well, we're going to jump to a quick commercial break, but when we're back, we're going to talk to Jack about his experience on Shark Tank and what that was like. So we'll stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I was in the Navy. I basically took care of helicopter pilots and kind of made sure all of the survival equipment that they wore was just on par. Galvanize equips us to not only learn a certain set of skills or languages, but they equip you to teach yourself anything. And now I can look at basically any programming language and understand this, that, and the other, and like be able to teach myself that. It's just a breeding ground for new career paths to start.
So before the break, we were talking to Jack about Jack Stands, his business, Jack Stands and Marketplaces, and the founding story of that. He did end up building the Death Star that he got.
Yep.
So now we're going to take a couple minutes and talk about your experience on Shark Tank.
Yes. Yeah.
How did you land on Shark Tank at the age of 10?
Yeah, so it was a great experience. So I had got my story in the New York Times, and from there that led to the Today Show. And we took me and my dad created a road trip to go to New York, and we brought the stand out to the Today Show Plaza. And while we were out there, we met with a young entrepreneur and his mother who had been on Shark Tank, whose product we had in my marketplace. So they said that there was an open audition in Manhattan the next day. And I'm just like, oh no, I mean, I'm not prepared for this. This is Shark Tank. And my dad's like, okay. So I go back to the hotel, get a good night's sleep. And while I'm sleeping, my dad prints out all the documents to go to the audition. The next morning, I get up. We're going to Manhattan, he says. So we spent a few hours preparing for the pitch and ended up making it all the way.
Were you nervous going into that pitch?
Yes, the audition pitch, probably more really, really nerve-wracking, but it all paid off.
Yeah. Had you watched the show before that time? You'd seen it?
Definitely, a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of, what did you do to get over those jitters as you went into the audition?
Just stayed calm. I had my mom and my dad with me, so just knew that I got on Shark Tank. That's a great accomplishment. So
we actually have a clip of your Shark Tank experience on there. So let's take a quick look at that now.
Great.
Next into the tank is a kid entrepreneur who wants to help other kids fulfill their entrepreneurial aspirations.
Hi Sharks, my name is Jack Bonneau. I'm the founder and CEO of Jack Stands and Marketplaces, and I'm from Denver, Colorado.
Hi Sharks, I'm Steve Bonneau. I'm Jack's dad. I work for Jack.
Sharks, I'm seeking $50,000 in exchange for 10% of my company. I'm 10 years old, but when I was 8 years old, I really wanted a Lego set, but it cost $400. The good news was my dad said I could have it.
But he'd have to pay for it with his own money.
So, I did what most of you probably would do. I started my own lemonade stand. After 12 weeks, I made $900 after expenses.
Wow.
Learned some valuable lessons, and yes, I got my Lego Death Star. The experience is exactly why I created Jack Stands and Marketplaces. Jack Stands and Marketplaces provides kids and their families opportunities to learn about entrepreneurship, business, financial literacy, while having fun and making some money. We provide everything except their mood and their enthusiasm. Jack Stands offers kids the opportunity to sell lemonade and other drinks. We offer kids the opportunity to sell more than just lemonade. Jack's Marketplaces provides young entrepreneurs the opportunity to sell their products in authentic and great marketplaces and have kids sell those great products and tell the inspirational stories of these young entrepreneurs.
So Sharks, our challenge and question to you is, who wants to make money?
While inspiring our nation's youth in entrepreneurship.
So neat to watch you go through that experience. Ultimately, you struck a deal with one of the Sharks.
Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was just a great experience, just to get a deal with Chris Sacca. He's been a great mentor. Unfortunately, right as we got the deal, he chose to go in a new life direction. So the deal didn't actually close, but it was a great experience just to get that public win.
Absolutely. You in later clips, you have that moment where you talk to your dad and you say, "I think I want to take it."
Yeah.
What kind of was going through your head at that point?
Well, just the fact that we got a deal, yes. I mean, yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
But it was just life-changing.
Cool. And how did the show change your company? How did it help you develop Jack Stands and Marketplaces?
Sure. Well, I'd say for me in particular, it really inspired me, especially what Mark said. He said that there was millions of kids that would be interested in my business. He just wasn't sure that I would scale, and that really gave me confidence because it was like there is an audience out there, and also I really want to prove him wrong.
How did connecting with the Sharks, how did that inspire what you're working on now? You just mentioned that Mark gave you that kind of the gusto to prove him wrong, but is there any other way that they've inspired you?
Well, Mark, Lori, Barbara, they all had nice and complimentary things to say about me and what I'm doing, so that always gave me the confidence to just keep going.
And did the kids at school watch you on the show at all?
I hope they did.
Did you get any feedback from your community or your other kids at school, your friends, about being on the show?
Well, they thought it was cool, but as middle schoolers, they're just going to focus on their phone.
Yeah, I can't imagine that many middle schoolers would watch Shark Tank in their free time.
Yeah.
Except for maybe a bunch of kid entrepreneurs. What takeaway experience sticks with you from the show?
Well, from the show, it was just keep doing it. Just go do it because I got rejected 4 times on national TV. That was hard, and then the fifth time I got a deal. And just go do it because none of these great experiences would have came to me, and I wouldn't have been able to go on this great journey if it weren't for me just putting a lemonade stand out at a farmer's market.
I remember seeing your face. I watched that clip before the show, and I remember seeing your face, and you were very stoic. So nice job, not showing the rejection, but celebrating the win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What other learning experiences are you taking away from Jack Stands?
As I mentioned before, it was a great learning experience for good times just to go through that whole process. And also, Chris, he also suggested that I started a video podcast series to share the journeys of me and others. So we're currently in the process of doing that, and I'm really excited to see what comes out.
I love that. What advice would you share with other young entrepreneurs that are looking to start or maybe don't know even what an entrepreneur is or how to spell it, but they've kind of got something simmering inside, and they've got great ideas and great business ideas?
I would just say, just go do it. Reach out to your parents, teachers, and mentors. See what they can do to help. Have an idea, something that you're interested in. You'll develop your passion. And just if you just literally just go do it. That's how I did it with me. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you get a no. If you do, just get back up on that horse.
Right, and those are the kind of crucial lessons that you learn in any business, and you just happen to be 12 and learning them along the way.
Exactly.
I love that. What do you hope for Jack Stands and Marketplaces in the future?
Right now, about a week ago, I spoke at the Boulder Seed Angel Forum. We're raising $150,000 convertible debt. So we want to use that to expand Jack's Marketplaces online and hopefully get Jack's stands and marketplaces outside of Colorado. So yeah, that's what's pretty much next.
Where do you come up with those visions? What do you sit down, you and your dad, and talk about experiences? Do you dream about them late at night?
Well, it's really, for me and my dad, and definitely for me, it's just how can we strategize to reach and connect with as many kids as possible.
I love that. What comes next for you?
For me, well, I'm finishing up 8th grade this year. I'm doing 10th grade math at my high school, so I'm just going to keep going along with that journey. And I just know that these life skills and that I've developed, they'll help me my whole life. So, we'll just see where the road goes.
And you'll just finish middle school and on to high school.
Yeah.
And we're all going to report to you someday.
Well, hopefully. No, I'm joking.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we're
It's
so
been
excited
amazing.
to see where you go.
Yeah.
And can't wait to see what comes of Jack Stands and Marketplaces. Thank you so much for tuning into Out of Office on Galvanize TV. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch this interview again and to watch other great content.